Hey everyone, today on People Now, Vanessa Bryant wishing close family friend Pau Gasol happy birthday with adorable pics of him with the Bryant girls.
Tom Hanks speaks out about stopping the spread of coronavirus and gives an update on life after COVID for him and his wife, Rita Wilson.
Demi Lovato gets vulnerable about learning to cry. We'll explain.
Also today,
when I read it, I immediately was like, oh, wow, they want me to play this?
Pitch Perfect star Anna Camp opens up about her heart-wrenching new role and the future of the singing Bellas.
Plus,
it was meaningful, it was deep, it was familial.
Greenleaf star Merle Dandridge tells us about saying goodbye to the show on its final season and how Oprah changed her life.
That and more today on People Now. Let's go. Hey everyone, welcome to People Now. I'm Andrea Boehlke. I hope you're having a great Tuesday so far. How's it going, Jeremy?
Good. I am having a good Tuesday. Good to see you. A lot coming up today. Anna Camp. I did an interview with her. We talked about Pitch Perfect. We talked about her new movies and how her really cute little puppy and her boyfriend's puppy are both getting along during all of this isolation. So there's a lot to talk about with that. So much else to get to as well. We begin with this. Here's what you need to know and what's trending today. Patrick Mahomes is getting a raise, and it is a record breaker. The NFL star has signed a mega contract extension with the Kansas City Chiefs, and according to ESPN's NFL expert Adam Schefter, it's not only the largest in NFL history, but also the largest in sports history.
This is incredible. So it seems like the perfect reward for leading the Chiefs to their first Super Bowl win in 50 years back in February. So let's take a look at the numbers. Mahomes had 2 years left on his original contract, and this one is a 10-year extension. So according to Schefter and ESPN, the deal, quote, includes $477 million in guarantee mechanisms, but it could eventually be worth up to $503 million. I can't believe it, Jeremy. That is an insane number. I can't even imagine what I would do with that money. I mean, we're talking huge numbers here.
I could probably make that work. Mahomes' girlfriend, Brittany Matthews, she took to Instagram to celebrate the deal, posting a smiling boomerang with him to her story. She wrote, quote, I'm so proud of you. I'm sure she is, and very proud to be his girlfriend right now. No doubt about it. It's good that they're in this all together. Congrats to him and to them.
In other sports news, Vanessa Bryant celebrated NBA star Pau Gasol on his birthday Monday with a heartfelt message on her now private Instagram account. Addressing him as Uncle Pau, Bryant wrote in part, I know Kobe would say, happy 40th birthday, Pablo. Love you, hermano.
In the post, she shared some sweet pictures of Gasol spending time with her daughters, Natalia, Bianca, and Capri, and a picture of Gasol with the late Kobe Bryant from when they were teammates on the Los Angeles Lakers.
Now, their story began in 2008 when Gasol was traded to the Lakers from the Memphis Grizzlies. They forged a strong partnership that led them to win back-to-back championships in 2009 and in 2010.
The birthday wishes came on the same day that Bryant posted about recently finding one of her husband's romantic gifts, the exact dress that Carrie Bradshaw wears during the series finale of Sex and the City.
Which is such an amazing gift. I mean, sharing side-by-side photos of the dress in real life and Sarah Jessica Parker wearing it on the show, Bryant wrote in part, he was so romantic, still showing me he loves me from heaven.
Tom Hanks is opening up about his experience with coronavirus. During an interview on the Today Show with Hoda Kotb on Tuesday, the actor stressed how people can do their part to prevent the spread. Take a look.
The idea of doing one's part, though, should be so simple. Wear a mask, social distance, wash your hands. That alone means you are contributing to the betterment of your house, your work, your town, your society as a whole. And it's such a small thing. And it's a mystery to me how somehow that has been wiped out of what should be ingrained in the behavior of us all.
Yeah.
Simple things.
Hanks and his wife, Rita Wilson, were diagnosed with coronavirus back in March while in Australia.
The actor explains that Americans should be unifying their efforts. He says, quote, let's not confuse the fact it's killing people. You can argue it's not killing that many, but it's killing people. You can say, well, traffic accidents kill a lot of people too. But traffic accidents happen because a lot of drivers aren't doing their part.
Earlier this week, Hanks opened up in an interview with The Guardian about his and his wife's recovery. And he shared that they are fine now and they haven't been met with lingering symptoms.
He also revealed that their reactions to the virus had been very different. He said, quote, my wife lost her sense of taste and smell. She had severe nausea. She had a much higher fever than I did. I just had crippling body aches. I was very fatigued all the time and I couldn't concentrate on anything for more than about 12 minutes. He jokingly added, that last bit is kind of like my natural state anyway.
Demi Lovato is using the coronavirus lockdown to reflect on herself. In a new cover story for Bustle, the singer says that she has taken the time to better understand herself and adapt a healthy, introspective frame of mind. Part of that self-discovery came with relearning how to cry. She says before quarantine, it was very difficult.
The singer admits that at 16 years old, she programmed herself to not cry unless she was being paid. However, now she is spending time trying to unlearn that. She says, I started doing all this work, allowing myself to feel the pains of all the losses that I've had or adversities or traumas that I faced. And she continues, I think my ability to be vulnerable and be more intimate with people has really heightened.
Lovato acknowledges the widespread downsides to the coronavirus outbreak, but says the silver lining is being allowed the time to pause and reflect. She says, in part, it was a beautiful thing. Lovato, who spent the lockdown at a Los Angeles home that she rents with her new boyfriend, Max Eric, says she also used this time to rediscover the joy that music used to bring her. She says, I want my career to be about my music and my lyrics and my message, and I want a long-lasting career that I don't have to change myself for.
Aside from working on herself, Lovato is launching an auction to fundraise for causes that benefit coronavirus relief, combat racial injustice, and support voting rights. As for her now delayed album and tour, she is using the guidance of a spiritual advisor who told her, quote, don't panic when your work stops. She says of the delay, quote, I was kind of prepared in a weird way and I just adapted. I think the universe, God, shifted that to happen in my life.
On Monday, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo told Fox News that the U.S. is reportedly looking at banning the very popular app TikTok. According to Pompeo, they're also looking into banning other Chinese social media apps amid tense relations between the two countries. TikTok is owned by the Beijing tech company ByteDance.
It's one of the fastest growing apps, even widely considered the app of 2020. And that's largely in part to its addicting viral challenges, like the Flip the Switch challenge. So here's a look at Jeremy and me participating a few months ago. Jeremy, it's addicting. It's so fun. We had a blast with it. It
was definitely a moment, but a lot of people are of course, in on TikTok, and there has been a lot of discussion about data gathering and things like that. Bachelorette fan favorites Hannah Brown and Tyler Cameron got in on the Safe Hands Challenge with their quarantine squad. This was to encourage everyone early on in the pandemic to wash their hands. So, of course, TikTok used across, many different ways, some for just entertaining, some for spreading messages that need to be spread during a time of pandemic.
Well, and so many people are involved. It was downloaded 315 million times in the first 3 months of the year. Really incredible. TikTok is also responsible for making some people into stars. Dancer Charli D'Amelio became the most followed TikTok account back in March, and here she's doing the wildly popular Savage Challenge. Even if you're not on TikTok, you've probably seen this dance. Jeremy, I'm sure you've done it. The song is Savage.
I have tried.
The song is Savage by Megan Thee Stallion. I mean, she has almost 69 million followers. And more recently, Joel McHale went viral on Kevin Hart's Celebrity Game Face, where he tried to learn some TikTok moves. Take a look at this.
The first move is basically like making a big shark with your arms.
Oh, like this?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Nailed it. Got a point.
One point right there.
Okay. Don't look. And then you take one arm and you putting it above your head, brushing your hair, but you're not. Yeah. And then the other arm. Then the other arm. Back and forth.
So yeah, even Joel getting in on the fun. He's a pretty good dancer, I would say. Now, TikTok, definitely a lot of fun, but a lot of eyes have been on the app lately over censorship, intelligence, and privacy concerns. Pompeo added in his conversation with Fox News that people should download the app, quote, if you want your private information in the hands of the Chinese Communist Party.
However, earlier this year, TikTok hired American Kevin Mayer, a former Disney executive, as its CEO. His goal, according to CNBC, was to rebuild trust with U.S. regulators. TikTok maintains they have never and would never provide user data to the Chinese government.
All right, stay with us. Anna Camp has 3 new movies in the works. She's telling us all about them. And she is teasing whether we could ever see her True Blood or Pitch Perfect characters back in action on screen. Stick around for that.
Can we talk later tonight? There's a lot more to talk about.
Like what?
Like how we're gonna deal with all this.
This?
AJ, you and me, us. I want us to be a family.
Noah, I love that you decided that you want to be involved with our son, but you can't just swoop in and talk about family like it's something that you pick up on the way home. I've been here less than 3 years, and I still don't feel like I am a part of this family.
Yeah, but that's you. That's how you operate.
Take that back.
You're upset?
Take it back.
I'm sorry. I take it back.
Grace Greenleaf, played by Merle Dandridge, is not messing around in the 5th and final season of Greenleaf on the OWN network. When I caught up with the actress, we talked about everything from the show to Oprah to her activism for Black Lives Matter. Watch. You've actually been very vocal on your social media about a lot of the things that we're seeing in terms of political movement and Black Lives Matter and the protests and things. What do you feel at this moment about the future of our country and what comes next?
Ooh, the future of our country.
I know that's a big question, but what's your take?
Here's the thing, though. Every single day seems to bring with it a new thing. I like to compare it to, the way a wave crashes in. It brings in new things, new creatures, new sediment, it tills the soil in a sometimes violent, sometimes relaxing, always unexpected way. And every day we need to ride that wave and be ready and be clear about where our hearts are at so that we can activate, move forward, galvanize, and do the work that we know that we're called to do.
That is a really good point. I feel like knowing where our heart's at helps because it's just wave after wave and you have to find a way to navigate, right? To kind of push out the noise and let's get to the heart of what's going on. I want to talk, of course, about Greenleaf in a second. I've noticed that the show obviously doesn't really shy away from many issues, which is, I think, the real key to the success of the show, right? Just dives headstrong into it. If the show went for another season, how do you think the Greenleaf family would react to the moment we're having right now?
The Greenleafs. Well, one of the great things about the Greenleaf family is that they have gone through hell and back, and you've seen them face their demons head on, deal with it. They don't they have shied away from it, and we've seen what the collateral damage is of that. But when they go head first into it and recenter with their faith, they actually move forward, and sometimes it takes a deconstructing to have progress.
What is this show and maybe that character taught you about dealing with some of the stuff that's going on, or maybe changed your perspective in some way?
One of my favorite things about playing Grace Greenleaf is the conversations that I have on the street. People come up to me on the street with heartbreaking stories and also stories of extreme redemption in which some healing or conversation happened in their family that has been locked up for decades and seemed insurmountable, like they would never get past it or they would never heal a rift because of one of these issues that we tackle in the show. And yet someone was able to have a new and fresh conversation and perhaps not necessarily sometimes heal the relationship, sometimes just come to a better understanding. And in this time where I feel like we have so much polarization and or lack of seeing one another, that it's important that's an important thing to do, to have the conversations and to be uncomfortable so that we can move forward.
Interesting, in a role where you're leading a big church, that there would be, actors always have those stories of like, people think I'm the character, and kind of interesting to imagine that you're in a place where people just come up and kind of confess stuff to you, right? Like seek advice, seek leadership, like help me through this.
It's funny, like, because I've always been a Broadway girl, so I walk around the streets of New York, like just, like the Broadway kids do, and now people walk by me and say, hey, Pastor.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Anywhere I'll be in the grocery store, I'll be in the meat section. Hey, Pastor.
Is there ever a moment where you're like, you know what, I'm not your pastor and I actually don't have time for all these problems. I'm trying to get my groceries done.
No, I'm here for it. I love it because they come with such light in their eyes. And when people come with you with an open heart like that, I mean, it's joy upon joy. So I'm really grateful, not only the fact that people are identifying with the character, but that they are giving me so much love and accepting the show, because we wouldn't have gone 5 seasons without people watching it.
That's right. And you recently spoke with people about kind of those last days filming on set. Take me into that a little bit and what you remember from that and how that is no doubt very special in your heart right now.
Yeah, the bookends of the show, the very first episode shooting with Oprah Winfrey and her yelling out to the whole crew and all the extras, everyone, it's Merle's first shot, to the end of the season, the whole series. Again, I was the last shot of the entire series, and being there with the whole crew around, and our producing director, Clement Virgo, who has walked with us every step of the way, and just the sense of satisfying sense of wholeness. Like it was a tough road, but we did it. We all learned so much, and we walked together. And last year we had lost 3 of our crew members, so there was also a sense of they walk with us as well. They were part of this collective thing. So it was meaningful, it was deep, it was familial, and it was satisfying. And of course, heartbreaking to walk away from it, because we love those people. I've been rocking with them for 5 years, and it's sad to think that I won't see them every day.
5 years, long run in the world of TV and shows and movies and everything else. How does Oprah Winfrey commemorate and celebrate the end of a show like that with you and the other cast members?
Well, we haven't gotten to the end, but I have to say, Oprah has been like the big sis auntie, giving us love, encouraging us, and pushing us to our very best selves. And some, when you're in community with somebody like that, who doesn't do anything without checking in, and who's also such a clear communicator, she's so intentional about what she puts out into the world. You know that you're going to be doing something that's meaningful, and so everyone takes that very seriously. And it has made me much more thoughtful about every single bit of art that I do. Because as a creator, we like to just whatever. But now I'm just like, no, there's great purpose in all of it. I've always known that, but it's taken it to another level, being in community with someone like her, and I take countless gifts from her. Oh, yeah. Goodness.
But intentionality does change the game, doesn't it? It's like a subtle tweak, but it makes a big difference. So Grace Greenleaf, interesting storyline this season, especially for her son. What can you tell fans about what is on the way?
I'll just tell you that I am bracing myself for these storylines because it's been a year since we finished shooting, so they're coming at me freshly, but they were so powerful and moving, and some of them were difficult for us to face. It's a fresh perspective around the Greenleafs, because again, we keep seeing them deconstructed, and then they push forward into a new place. And it's scary for people to encounter deep, fundamental, foundational change. And I think that's what the Greenleafs are dealing with.
What do you think the show says about, I don't know, if you had like a takeaway for people, what do you hope the takeaway is the show says about how people can sort of find their faith in a new way in our sort of modern lives? I feel like it says a lot about that, like the deconstructing piece is, and facing modern issues, but still with that core. There's just a lot of commentary there. What do you hope that the takeaway is?
It's never too late. It's never too late to face an old pain or old situation. It's never too late to step into your power and your destiny. It's never too late to turn around, look back, and fix it, and then so that you can move forward. It's time to unlock those parts of yourself that either you have felt suppressed or your unfinished business and all of that has held you back from your true destiny. And know that when you align yourself with that, and I'm speaking for myself, when I align myself with my God and my faith, that nothing is impossible. There is nothing that is impossible. So you can walk confidently in that. The road is going to be bumpy. We have never been promised that life was not going to be bumpy. And so thank you for rocking with the Greenleafs through all the bumps and the car wrecks and all of that. Life is messy, but when you endure and move forward, there is sunshine and sunrise and so many beautiful things on the other side of it. So keep the faith, hold strong, and keep fighting the fight. And I'm saying that to my people out there right now too. Keep strong, keep fighting the fight.
Guys, Anna Camp is a former Bella with the voice of gold in the Pitch Perfect franchise. Now she's had a busy few months, 2 recent releases and 1 fresh out on Netflix. We're excited to talk about all of it. Anna Camp, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing so good. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
I'm good. Before we get into that, I saw 2 cute puppies in your Insta story. Are those yours?
Oh, well, one of them is mine, yes, and the other one is my boyfriend's dog.
Oh, nice. Well, they look adorable, and I love the little soundtrack.
They're getting along very well, which is
Good.
great.
Well, let's talk about some of what you're doing. I mean, congratulations, because as a fan, I've tracked along with you for a while, and you've gotten to do some really incredible things, including Here a While, which is a heavy role, and I've seen some other articles and interviews where you've talked about this being something you were just so happy to be able to kind of really sink into and really take on a role that has this kind of emotional weight. Talk to me some about that and what appealed to you here.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I guess I've known for playing these really type A, bubbly, blonde, women, especially people know me from the Pitch Perfect movies. And I don't really get scripts sent to me as often like this. So when I read it, I immediately was like, oh, wow, they want me to play this? Like, this is amazing. Like I called my agents immediately and I was like, yes, when can we shoot? Just to like catch people up. It's about a woman who's been diagnosed with terminal cancer. And she goes home to her estranged brother to basically tell him that she's decided to end her own life using the Death with Dignity Act. And he is not fully supportive of that. And that's sort of about the movie is about her getting him to understand what she needs from him, and she needs his support. So it is a challenging role, and it deals with death and how the people around her feel about that. And it's definitely not a comedy. There are some comedic moments in the film, though, thank goodness, and some levity. But yeah, it's a really serious topic, and I'm so thankful I got to play the part.
In terms of the content and the debate of the Death with Dignity Act and all that goes into that, what kind of conversations has this sparked in your life personally?
It's a very difficult topic, and we don't want people to watch the movie thinking that we're trying to tell them what to believe or how to feel about this. And we know that this choice, and the choice that my character Anna, as her name also in the film, makes, is not for everyone. But we want people to go in with an open heart and an open mind to say, yes, this might not be right for me, but everyone should have the right to be able to choose to do with their body what they want to do. And I don't even know, thank God I've never had to be put in the situation that this character has, or even really known anyone who has, but I feel as if people should have the opportunity to make that choice, especially when it's the end of their life and their body is basically betraying them and they are losing control. It's really the last step that they can to gain control at the end of their lives. So we're just hoping that people watch it and understand that it might not be right for them, but that people should have the opportunity to choose.
On a much lighter note, The Lovebirds on Netflix. Let me just say this, one of the best movie trailers I've seen in years. So funny. And then the movie itself, incredible. That Southern accent of yours, the bacon grease.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, bacon grease to the face. Yes.
You've got a run of Southern accents. I think of True Blood, and then this. I mean, where do you go in your head? Do you have a family member? Who was the inspiration?
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm thankful that I don't know anyone that psychotic. Right. But I am originally from South Carolina, so I got to use my own Southern accent a little bit in that and kind of turn it up a notch. But yeah, I remember when I got offered that part, I was like, talking with Michael Showalter, the director, and I was like, you want me to do what? You want me to like torture Kumail and Issa Rae a pan of hot bacon grease? I was like, are you sure? This sounds crazy. And he was like, trust me, it's gonna be super funny, it's gonna be amazing. So yeah, it was fun to be able to shoot that movie, and we were shooting all night shoots on that, so we were all like super delirious and being really crazy and cracking each other up at like 4 a.m. shooting those wild scenes. So
what is the takeaway working alongside Issa Rae and Kumail Nanjiani? Is there a kind of a lasting moment?
They are the funniest. They're just the funniest together, and they're so game for anything, and you never know what's going to come out of either of their mouths, and it's going to be super funny no matter what. So there were times where I think that they were just trying to crack me up, and Kyle Bornheimer, who played my husband in the movie, and we were just like laugh crying.
Yeah.
Like they're the funniest, smartest, and their chemistry is so good in the movie. So I'm so happy that people really liked it.
So speaking of Netflix, Desperados now streaming, this little girls trip, rough night kind of style comedy. To sum it up, one of the girls in love with a guy, sends him a terrible email, and then it's like, oh my gosh, before he gets it, we got to go to Mexico. So the crew goes along with her to try to delete the email.
Yes.
It's just so funny, such a great concept. Talk to me about what you love the most about that.
I was super excited to just be acting alongside Nassim Pedrad and Sarah Burns and Lamorne Morris and Robbie Amell. I mean, it's such a great, fun, crazy script. You know what I mean? Like, we were in Mexico City and then half in Cabo, obviously at this like beautiful resort. I mean, it's a complete 180 from shooting Here a While. And I was kind of so excited to go shoot something so crazy, light and fun, especially after that movie. But yeah, it's just a wild ride where we get into the craziest hijinks and wild things, and LP the director was game for anything, and it's a lot of improv, so a lot of our improv ended up in the movie, which is really fun.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so it's just like a wild, fun, crazy ride. And so for people who can't get out of their houses, it'll be fun to kind of go and pretend like you're like in Mexico.
Right, no, I know, you're right. Like, there is something about just seeing the shot of a resort. It's like, oh, I wish.
Kind of all over Mexico, which was amazing. And I got to do some fun things like climb the pyramids.
Oh, nice.
Days off. It was just like a really wild, fun adventure offset also.
The whole concept here is just the pitfalls of modern dating. Was there a particular storyline or event that happened that was relatable to everyone? Like, oh my gosh, I've been through this kind of thing before, or accidentally did this, or had a guy say this before?
You know, I think the main thing that was really, you know, hit home to all of us is the scene where we're all drunk and we're all helping Nassim compose this really nasty email to Robbie's character. And just like, I've been there for my friends, you know, when they get like dumped by a guy or like ghosted by a guy. It's just so fun to be able to be like, listen, you know what? Screw those dudes. Like, let's hang out with our girlfriends and let's like support one another and let's laugh. I've definitely done that, and I've definitely had girls come over to my house and help me out through hard times like that. So that was my favorite part of the movie, and I hope that girls see that and be like, yes, go ladies. You know what I mean? Like, we've always got your back kind of thing.
All right, before we go, 2 fan favorites, starting with True Blood. Any chance, I mean, 6 years off the air, any chance that a reboot could see the light of day?
My God, I think there could be. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, a couple of years ago, this is years ago, there was a little talk about doing maybe a spin-off. I don't know if that's come up again, but Sarah Newland, the last time we saw her, you know, she's tied up in that basement and she's the cure for everyone. So she's not dead. She's definitely not dead. So,
there's hope.
I mean, there's hope. And that show was the best show and the best job. And the storylines were obviously the craziest things I've ever read in my life. I would get a script and be like, wait, they want me to do what? Yes, let's do it. So I hope so. I think it would be great.
Lastly, of course, we said goodbye to Pitch Perfect Bellas a few years ago. What are the chances of a Final Four reunion of any kind?
You know what? I don't have a clue. I have no idea, and everyone always asks this, and the fans seem to really still want that. I mean, we still get stuff all the time on Twitter, and the Bellas are on like a group text these days, and we're always like, we're still close, you know what I mean? We're still buddies, and I know we would shoot a movie if Universal wanted us to do that. But just the fact that there's so much love still from the fans for these movies just blows me away, and I think I would do it. And
guys, if you want to check out Here a While, and you can also check out Netflix's Desperados and The Lovebirds, they're all streaming now. Check it out. All right, guys, coming up tomorrow, we are getting personal with Ryan Lochte. He's diving into his personal life, telling us all about his new documentary.
Plus, we will take you inside this week's issue of People as we remember Broadway star Nick Cordero. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Bye, guys.